Can you just tell us a little bit about your role at Fleetwood Town Football Club?
Yeah, so I work as a performance analyst, so that basically just, to be honest, it is quite hard to explain actually, just because there's so much that goes on sort of day to day for us. So a lot of the sort of things we have to do is linked with games. So I work across the three sort of footballing departments, so under 18s, 21s, first team. So yeah, a lot of my work just sort of is based around watching games, preparing for games. I do stuff for the first team that's like sort of quite individual based, so preparing for the opposition, certain opposition players, things like that. And yeah, like I say, there's obviously a lot more to it than just watching games, clipping games, but that is sort of a brief overview, really, I'd say.
In terms of moving from a player into a staffing role at Fleetwood Town and more so the academy, just tell us about that transition. Was it easy to make it from player to staff? Yeah,
I'd say so, just because like as a player I had a really good relationship with the staff anyway, a lot as if they were like my friends, to be honest. So that transition coming back in wasn't too difficult, I'd say. Obviously the transition of sort of having to adapt with the players and stuff, like obviously I played with a lot of them last year, so it was quite like difficult at first, I suppose, just to sort of change like your language, the way the things you say around them, the way you act around them, things like that. But I'm mature enough, like I speak well enough to like, and clever enough to be able to sort of have that switch. So I'd say that's actually been quite easy, and probably a lot easier than what I thought it would be, to be honest. But I think that's just a credit to the people around me, like to sort of keep you in line. Like a big reason as to why I was re-employed by the football club was because I'm a good person. So I actually found the transition quite easily, to be honest.
How do you think the staff, Jack, whoever else you want to mention, have helped you in terms of making that step into kind of full-time job here at Fleetwood?
Brilliant, like as always. Like I just think they give you time and they understand like what you are, and like obviously I'm only 19, so I'm young in terms of football and working in full-time football. So they've been patient with me, because at times I have messed up and I have made mistakes, as everyone does. But so like you said, Jack, for example, Mace, the gaffer, when I've done bits with the gaffer, Lewis, who works with the first team analyst. So yeah, they've been patient with me and they've given me time, and I'd like to think over time, and even now I'm starting to repay that by producing good pieces of work.
Why do you think being a, say, former / ex-player in general work, how does that put you in a unique position? Is it that you know the game better than maybe someone else? Or
I'd say so. I think I mentioned it briefly just then about me being re-employed because of my personality and sort of the person I am, but ultimately the job I work, you have to know the game. So a big part of me coming back was because I understand the game, I understand the club, the culture of the club, and the academy. Like I understand the players, I understand what needs to go on, sort of preparing for games, like I say, all that kind of thing. So I think that has helped me obviously massively, because I've sort of already got that relationship with the club and with people here. So it's like going back to your previous question, it has been an easy transition for me, and it's not something that's really got in the way of my job either.
And just a final one from me. How do you work with young players to provide them with the best possible opportunity to be successful?
Well, to be honest, I think analysis is growing more and more in the game. I think we have a big emphasis in the academy on the younger players trying to use that, because I think it's proven that watching your games back, watching the opposition back, things like that, it does help you. Speaking from experience as a player, like it's helped me massively when I was playing, and even still I play part time now, and it does help me now. So I think analysis on the whole, as I say, is growing. So I think that we can provide that help for the players, and a lot of the work we do with the sort of younger players, I can't say I do much with the younger academy, but sort of the under 18s and under 16s when they come and step up, we really like sort of try and break it down and just make it easy for them with like, so a lot of the footage we'll show them is, this is what this team do, this is how we get around it. We show them examples of how to do things, and I think we just try and make it as easy as possible for them, really.